Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, everyone. We're really glad you're here today.
We are thrilled to have you here today. Indeed, we are excited to share with you a special training focused on lead generation, and this will be a part of a series. This first training that we will be focusing on is on creating PDF downloadable lead magnets that you can use on your website and offer to grow your list and grow your list of potential customers. So we're excited to have you here. As you're coming in, let us know where in the world you are. We have Fargo, North Dakota, and New York City here. Leading the call. And of course, we're excited to hear where in the world you may be from. So head over into the chat and let us know. If you're new here, welcome. We host this call every single week at 2 p.m. Eastern US time on Thursdays. And we open this to anyone who is looking to make better use of their time and growing their business online. And of course, with AttractWell, you can do that very simply and easily with systems that are designed to support your unique business. You don't have to have 27 different software platforms anymore to run everything that you need. You've got everything all in one place with us. So if you haven't gotten started with us yet, you can go to attractwell.com and try us out for your first month for $1. Now, getting into today's live call, hello, welcome. We've got Tennessee, Dallas, Oklahoma, Fargo, Hilo, Hawaii, Kendall's from my hometown. Hello. Las Vegas. What's up, Brooklyn? I used to live there too. California. We've got New York. I believe you are upstate, Peggy. Excited to have you guys here. So thanks for coming. Again, we are here every week on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we hope that you will continue to join us. And of course, if you watch this as a replay, I hope you will join us on a live call just like this. So we're going to go ahead and get into our slides. So Greg and I are going to pop out a video so that we can make the most of this recording. So today we are, as promised, on a lead generation series where today we'll be talking about creating PDF lead magnets with AttractWell and utilizing Canva. So what we'll get into today are first lead magnets and what's in a lead magnet. We'll also talk about how you can create a great lead magnet with Canva and how you can upload and use that lead magnet in AttractWell. And then as always, we'll have live help and Q&A. So if you have questions, whether they pertain to today's topic of discussion or not, we invite you to add those to the Q&A. Greg is here. He created this platform and is capable of answering all manner of questions related to it. And if it's something that requires a walkthrough or a talk through, then that's certainly something that we can do here on this live session as well. These are designed to help you really cut through any of the sort of weeds of questions and challenges that you may have in your journey, so you can really start getting things done more efficiently using one platform to run your business. So if you'd like to work together live, we do create space on these calls every week. We do have spontaneous space that is generally open, but if you would like to plan ahead and set aside a dedicated space of time to work together on one of these live Thursday calls, you can go to attractwell.com/workreview and reserve that space. And of course, if you are watching this as a replay and you'd like to join us on a live Zoom call, you can go to attractwell.com/office hours. And if you need a hand, if you're working on any of this stuff in your business and you would just like to get some help, you could go to attractwell.com/concierge, and we've got an incredible team there who can help you get things done. So I have a question for you guys. Head over into the chat and let me know, how are you paying it forward to grow a following who trusts you? What are the things that you are doing, putting goodwill out into the world in order to let people know that you have something that you offer that could help them? Don't be shy. Let us know what that is in the webinar chat here in Zoom. Always interested to see what this looks like for you. Depending on what you do, you may offer free consults. Maybe you have a download. Maybe you have an audio file. Maybe you have like a guided meditation. What does that look like for you? Do you have videos? Do you have a free course? Lori offers free coaching. Awesome. So that's your one-on-one time. That is incredibly valuable and a really powerful way to pay it forward. Michelle sends out inspirational messages daily. and gives free facials. I love it. I love it. Those inspirational messages can really amount to a great way to grow your list. Kendall has a PDF download, a guide to easy bedtimes. Fantastic. So I'm curious for everyone who's answered, or if you haven't answered just yet, do you have an automated way to collect leads on your website? Just let me know, like a yes, no. Do you have automated systems in place to collect interested people on your website, add them into your AttractWell contact manager so you know who you could follow up with as a great lead? Seeing a little bit of both. Some no's, some yeses. Awesome. We're going to get into this today. And essentially what we are talking about in this lead generation series and offering things like a PDF lead magnet, what we're getting into is using a funnel, right? So that you are funneling interested people 24/7, 365. You don't have to be there, right? So for instance, if you offer free coaching, like we were just discussing here in the list of ways that folks are paying it forward, free coaching is something that you have to be present for, right? But if you have a funnel on your website, then you have a way to pay it forward 24/7, 365, whether you're there or not, and actually start nurturing those potential future clients for you on autopilot. So let's talk about a lead magnet, what a lead magnet is, and some of the things that it can do for you. So what a lead magnet is, if you aren't familiar, is it's just essentially a set of free, valuable information that you're giving away in exchange for someone's contact information of a potential business lead. So somebody who would be a really great fit to work with you if they were to respond to information like you would be putting into a lead magnet, right? And that means that anyone who says yes to it is very likely someone who might say yes to you. It also serves to position you as a credible authority who can help them solve important problems that they have. This is something that is offered on your website using a page or a landing page in AttractWell. And your lead magnet, of course, is then delivered automatically after they sign up to receive it on that page or landing page. So an example here, here's Jane. She's a wellness coach. She has a free guide, 5 Steps to Healthier Living. And so you can see that she offers this at the top of her website, right? So this is a call out at the very top of her homepage. And she does repeat this call out on other pages on her website just to give a lot of visibility to this free thing that she's giving away, right? So this is an example of how you might place a lead magnet on your website. And then when they click that button to get the lead, they see that they see a preview of the lead magnet itself. They are invited to join her newsletter and get this guide. And of course, they're going to put their name and email in, click the Yes, Get Me Started button. They'll then go to a page that says, hey, go check your email. And in the email, which is the campaign attached to this page, they will receive this PDF download. All right, so now let's talk about what's in a lead magnet. There's 3 important things to consider when you are creating one. The first is that you have to make sure that you have information that is going to help them learn or do something that they know they want. It's a problem or a desire that they are aware of. One of the things that I see kind of getting in the way with this as a concept quite often is that we want our future client to know what they need from you when they don't quite know that yet, right? So we have to get a little creative and play out on the edges of your expertise, because generally speaking, someone's not going to respond to a lead magnet that offers something that they already know, right? So they're not in your circle of expertise. They're on the edges of it and they have their own way of articulating what that means to them, right? So this needs to be something that they know they want to know. I would love to, in the chat here, if you could give me an example, what is something that you want to share with a potential lead for your business that you might be able to offer in a PDF download? It could be 1 page, it could be 8 pages, whatever that looks like. Don't be shy, add it to the chat. What is something that you know you can offer to pay it forward to a potential future client? What does that look like for you? Because what we can actually do here is workshop these ideas and then take them over and create a lead magnet together. And don't worry, we're actually going to get this done really quickly because we have an AI feature in AttractWell that can help They can actually help write this for you very quickly. Okay, 5 tips for weight loss. And Peggy, who is this for? Why do they want to lose weight? Karina says to be a boss and start your own practice in a medical setting. Ooh, so Karina, like same question for you. There you go. I see you. For physician women who want autonomy. Ooh, so this is how to break out on your own, right? How to break out on your own as a practitioner. I love it. Sleep tips for children with autism. Peggy's is overweight and tired of being overweight and taking meds. Be a rebel in the medical field. Ooh, Karina, I love that. That's going to be a challenging one to get AI to do for you. It sounds like you have a very specific perspective on that. Michelle says, I'm selling skincare. I can offer info on healthy skin and how healthy skin helps with self-esteem, first impressions, essential systems to sustain your business and your sanity, Adrian. I love it. Tips on how to use songwriting to heal, how to use AI to increase your productivity. Wow, you guys, these are fantastic. Okay, so let's, now that we got a few ideas here, right? We want to make sure that we give a little bit of context, right? So we know what we want to tell them. We know what we want to teach them how to do, right? The next thing that we want to make sure that we include is a little bit of context. Who are they hearing this from and why should they listen to you, right? Who do you serve? What's your story? How does it connect to what you're sharing? If you are someone who is helping women to break out and be a rebel in the medical field, I love that so very much. It's close to my heart personally. So if you want to help someone be a rebel in the medical field, what is your connection to that journey? Have you helped hundreds of women do this? Are you a woman who has done this, right? What does that look like? What is your credibility and the context of your perspective to what you're sharing? And then finally, what we want to keep in mind here when we're creating our lead magnet is we want to really make sure that we are setting this lead magnet up first to serve, right? And to pay it forward, but then to expose a gap, right? We're serving first, we're giving them something that they can't just find with a Google search, right? Not without a ton of digging, right? And they're not really sure which answer is which for them. So we're doing that. And then we're saying, hey, by the way, here's why you should listen to me, right? And then finally, what we're doing is saying, all right, so look, you have been on this journey long enough to know that you needed to get this information from me instead of trying to continue searching for this answer in the way that you were before. You're here because there's a bigger reason, right? Like, so for instance, Peggy mentioned wanting to help these people to lose weight, right? And so sure, a lot of people could want to lose weight, right? Many of us probably do, but there's a reason for that. And so what she could then open up and say is, you know, many of my clients are able to break free from medications they may have been told they would have to take their entire lives. And that's something that somebody's not going to want to try to do by themselves, right? And that's where Peggy, in her case, can open up and say, let's start your journey. And she can offer a next thing. Now, that next thing could be a class, it could be a call with you, right? Whatever your sort of direct next thing is, right? So your lead magnet can lead to a conversion event. So depending on how you grow your business, right? Whether that's one-on-one calls, or maybe you send them straight to a sales page to purchase something, right? Your lead magnet is basically teeing you up to serve this person that conversion event so that they can move ahead if they're ready to take that next step. All right. Fantastic. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we want to make sure that we have in mind. So with these lead magnets, like I mentioned, we're paying it forward, right? We are putting ourselves out there and giving first for the people that we know that we want to be serving. And ultimately what we're trying to do is a long game of building a following who trusts us, right? The folks who download this lead magnet are really close to a single percentage of the time, digit-wise, single digit percentage-wise. Are they going to convert immediately? onto one-on-one coaching, right? Or a high ticket offer. Now, obviously, if you have a lower ticket offer, then you could certainly see higher percentage conversion straight from a lead magnet into another thing that you're selling. But generally speaking, if you're a coaching or service-based business, this is really a longer game, right? Like, we're establishing trust, we're building relationship, and we are sort of initiating the relationship that will basically evolve through you nurturing your list with regular content, right? And opportunities to connect with you, so that, to use the popcorn analogy, you guys have probably heard from me before, the stovetop popcorn, right? Like, not every kernel is going to pop at once, but you do have to keep the heat on and keep stirring the pot, and they will eventually get there, right? That's the long game here. So having something to offer in exchange for that opportunity to build trust is such a critical piece in this, in moving in this direction of creating leverage in how you build your list, and of course, how you grow and nurture that list toward getting more clients. So let's talk about how we'll get this done, okay? So our order of operations here. First, what problem are you gonna help them solve right now? What is a problem that they are aware of, that they haven't figured out? They don't have a blueprint for it. What is the problem? Okay, want to make sure we keep it relevant and actionable. There are so many opportunities here to create a rabbit hole that's a little too deep, right? What we want to do here, our goal here, is to show that we know what we're talking about and truly help them get a benefit right now, or in, you know, the very near future. So let's just say, for instance, if you are helping, Kendall said, helping with sleep for kids with autism. So obviously there are longer term goals and longer term sort of milestones on the path of supporting a family in that way. But what you want to look for is something that can deliver a powerful win this week, right? Focus on something that's going to really give them something helpful that's going to help them now, right? Because we want them to see you as the solution to working with them and helping them long-term for the bigger stuff. And you're proving that you can help them get it done by providing this actionable thing. The next thing you're going to do is outline what it is that you want to share, right? If you want help with this, you can, of course, use our AI feature in AttractWell that's built in, and I'll actually be using that today to show you an example. And then in Canva, you're going to design an A4 or US letter document so that you can design it, make it look nice, have it be congruent with your branding. And then finally, of course, you can upload that to AttractWell and then add the document, this PDF, to your funnels campaign so that it delivers automatically after somebody signs up. So let's go get into Canva and create a lead magnet. But first, a pit stop. We are going to go into AttractWell, and in AttractWell, we are going to utilize the Write with AI feature. All right, so Write with AI is right here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask it to write for us. And again, you don't have to do this if you feel like you've got a handle on this. If your perspective here is very specific, which I hope that it is, honestly, because we don't want to be very generic in what we're doing. I'm going to do something generic today in the interest of keeping this brief for you, because the writing of this isn't as much of an issue, right, as the actual getting the other pieces done. So do make sure, if you are using AI, that you really give it a good look over and make sure that the voice that's coming out is yours on the other side. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask AI to write a guide that, let me see, I'm going to go to, I really love, Karina, if you're okay with it, could you come in, could you just raise your hand and then come out in the chat? If you would like to talk through this, let's create one of these with your avatar in mind. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, awesome. All right. So so this is a physician, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more. So she's a female physician, and what are we helping her do?
Wants to break away from corporate or institutionalized medicine and start their own private practice and find autonomy in the medical field.
Okay. So what are your top, like if you were to create a lead magnet, do you know what your sort of maybe top 3 to 5 things would be that you would be talking her through?
Getting over the fear of failure. A lot of people are afraid of that. Talking about the finances needed to start their own practice. And to provide emotional and business support. I mean, a lot of physicians think they don't have the business acumen to start and scale a private practice, when in fact they've done one of the hardest things by going to medical school. They've survived that. They can definitely, learn or have people around them to help them start or scale a private practice.
So what would that entail if we are, so imagine like she's downloading this and she's going to be doing or kind of getting a handle on this information without you present and not yet prepared to trust you enough to get on a call with you. So what are we going to tell her to do or get her familiar with first? So obviously we need to get over the fear of failure, right? What do we need to tell her about finances?
A lot of times, corporate entities might need a business plan with like financial forecasting and just like a mission statement and exit strategy. And I help physicians write business plans that are funded fully by corporate organizations so that they can move forward financially with their dream practice.
Okay. Okay, so you can get full funding. Perfect. So she needs to get over fear of failure. She needs to create a business plan so she can get full funding, and she needs to remember she's made it this far, right? That was the other point that you were kind of making about like her like having made it through school. I know, so you mentioned like the support, but that's something she's going to get from you that we need to maybe kind of pull the curtain back on later, unless there's something that you are encouraging her to do now that she can do before she ever even meets you.
So it would be to kind of look at the steps of what needs to happen. And I have like kind of an 8-step method to help people create their business plans. And that could be my lead magnet.
Oh, okay. Okay, excellent. So in this case, then what I would encourage you to do is to write that out and then paste it into your Write with AI, and maybe ask it for any kind of, how would you position this information to create a guide for a female physician looking to break out and on her own and start her dream practice, right? So all right, so I'm going to go ahead just for the sake of time here. So include the following as main topics. Let's see, we're going to write a guide greater than 1,000 words. I wanted at least the length of a blog post. For a female physician looking to break out on her own and start her dream practice, getting over fear of failure. Remind her she made it through med school. Create a business plan so you can get full funding. Let's see, this is how to get over fear of failure. And then surround yourself with people who support you on your journey, right?
Yep, and have done it successfully in the past.
Okay. Okay, close the guide with a call to action to explore next steps with me so that she can find, so that she can get the business plan she needs in place and find the support the necessary support to
I like to say like
accomplish.
the financial and emotional support.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The necessary financial and emotional support to help her accomplish her goals. Okay. All right, perfect. So this is obviously you have something a bit more specific that you would include here, but let's go ahead and give this a chance to give it a shot. And I'm going to find as well, you've actually placed into the chat here a little bit of your own information. So what I'm going to do after this is done writing is I'm going to be pasting this this information into a word processor document. So I'm going to copy this to clipboard and I'm going to switch my share over to, I'm on a Mac, so I'm using Pages. You could use a Google Doc, you could use Microsoft Word, Notes, whatever you like to use. But I'm going to paste this in here. So congratulations on completing med school and taking the next step. This is probably not what you're going to want to say, right? And it's probably not in the tone that you want, but obviously you're going to want to rewrite. All right, so I'm going to, remembering that we have the content of what we're saying, we want to introduce ourselves, right? So this is, I'm Karina and I've helped other physicians, right? Here's how to start your journey, right? And again, this is quite generic, but this is what we'll be using moving forward. You will want to, if you're using AI, again, just really read through, make sure this sounds like you, that it's actually reflecting your intellectual property and sort of what people can expect to work with you. But that's that next step. So now let's get over to back here. We're going to go to Canva. And I've actually gone into Canva and I've searched lead magnet. And there are some really great templates in here, a lot of beautiful sort of preset aesthetics. Do please make sure, even though some of these are actually most of these are absolutely gorgeous, that you modify these to your own brand. So this one I particularly love because there is a cool call to action at the end. So I'm going to go in and customize this template. And the first thing that I would do is actually visit your the elements of the page, and you know, you click on the different individual ones here, and you can go in and change the colors based on your brand palette here, right? So I'm obviously not going to be changing that to that gaudy green. I really like this a lot. It may reflect you, but you know, yours might be slightly whiter or silver or pinker or whatever, right? So our guide here is what are we going to call this? Does she know she wants to be a medical rebel?
Yeah. That's cool.
We'll call this. All right, so this is medical rebel. And I wouldn't make this anywhere near as like sort of soft as this aesthetic is. I would go for something maybe just to get a little tongue in cheek and a little gritty here potentially. So a girl's, let's see, a guide to breaking free and practicing on your own terms. So we will, I'm actually going to take this because the copy, there's so much of it and it's so important. I'm going to scooch this guy up. Do you see how, you guys, I click and then I'm holding shift key down and clicking again, right? And that allowed me to move both of these at the same time. I'm also going to do that here. I'm going to click and click. And let me try that again. Click, shift. Here we go. Bring it up. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is just widen it a touch. And I'm going to, there we go. And then this is where you would place your logo, right? So delete this and you would actually input your logo here. If you have your brand hub, set up already, then you should be able to pop in your logo, right? And obviously we want to make it kind of small. Okay, so center that. And our first page is good to go, right? We could also, let's change this image. Maybe we'll find under elements, female doctor. And we'll go to photos. And let's find something that's like not just super duper generic looking, stock photo looking. There may be a fair amount of it. Let's just pop this in. Let's see. It's not very rebellious looking, but we'll get the drift. So there we go. She's thinking about something. There we go. So what I did was I clicked and I drug it over because this is actually a frame. And so when you drag into it, it's going to add that image. If you double click it, you can reposition it. So I'm actually going to center her a little more. Okay. So next, we're going to, and mind you, I do have a separate window open that's got our copy. So I'm going to copy that first paragraph. I'm going to pop it in here. And then I'm also going to make sure that this is my brand font, right? So you can actually see a new brand kit right here. If you have it set up in Canva, you can modify that to place that there. And of course, this would be a photo of you. This is an absolutely gorgeous photo. But this, obviously you want to pop a nice one, similarly nice one of you in there. Here is another, this is our about me. This is where we're adding some context. I'm going to paste it. And I'm also, again, I'm going to make sure that this is set to my brand. And then of course, any other information that you want to share. If you feel like it's a little sort of chunky, this text here, which I feel like this is, we're going to increase the line spacing. And that looks just a little bit nicer. And of course, in this case, because of how this is formatted, you could add just a little bit more here, right? Sometimes you want to add a little more copy than you've planned to, just to sort of meet the design where it is. So I would definitely recommend this. And of course, you're going to change this to your site logo and of course your name. Now moving in, we have, this would be how to become a medical rebel. So this is actually quite nice that it is broken up. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. We do have 3 total in the copy that we've created, but the topics are quite long. So I'm going to start with the first one and we'll try for the entirety of it on this first page. And we may even do a little bit more, but I know that I don't need like 4. So oops, here, I'm going to use this shift and select, right? And delete. Another thing that we could do here, because there's a lot of stuff on this page, I want to lock this so it's not doing that annoying, like I can't move things or touch things. So just a quick tip, if you have something that's really kind of got a lot going on, and this is the case really with a lot of this. So if you wanted to be able to like just fool around with your text, drag your cursor and just select all the stuff that's on the page, all the big stuff, these elements, and just click this lock button. And then you're able to kind of move around your text. All right, so getting back to inputting our formatting here. So what we're going to do first is, you see how big that is? Wow. Okay, so we're going to move him down and we're going to move him down. So this is going to be how to get over fear of failure is the first one. And so I'm actually going to, again, move this here. Right? And I think what I want to do is just do one of these per page. And so the way that we're going to be able to do that is to maybe increase the size of the font, which this is all quite small anyway. We can actually increase all of these quite a bit. and even provide a bit more space. And just like we did in the first one, we can add a little bit of line spacing, just makes it a little bit easier to read. And then finally, we can do a couple of cool things here. I want to actually echo some of the design that we already have here. Both of these, I'm going to unlock them. And I want to repeat this element, this sort of layered element here on this page. So it's quite small, quite large here for what we're doing, but I can shrink them down. And I can maybe even take this element and send it this way. I could increase this guy. And then maybe we just try for another image that might be evoking that maybe breakthrough, right? So we'll go to photos. Obviously, there's plenty of cheesy stuff in here, but you could take something that's simply evocative, right? So something like this would work fine. And we can actually, I think, scale this down just a tiny bit. Another thing that you might consider doing if you wanted to take an element like this is you could maybe pop a quote over here on the side using a larger text like this. Right, so you would add a quote here that maybe calls out some of like a particularly powerful statement from in here, right? All right, so the next one that we're focusing on is create a business plan so you can get full funding. Okay. And again, because we have a bit more here than we have space for in our text, I'm gonna lock these back sections so that they aren't annoying. And we're gonna grab these, shift them down, make sure they're centered. And I'm gonna do the same for this one. And if you accidentally select something that you don't want, just shift click, got rid of that, and we can move this down as well. So create a business plan so you can get full funding. So I've got 2 paragraphs here. So I'm going to copy the first paragraph because I don't need this separate title. I'm going to delete this and move it up. And then I'm going to paste my text. And you can add additional space there between sentences. Just again, to give space, you can also increase some of the line spacing if you want to. The second paragraph there in that section, you see how we're breaking this apart? This could just be one chunky mass of text, but that's not as easy for the eye to read and focus on. When we have something that looks really scholarly, really thick and busy, it requires quite a lot of trust, patience, and focus from somebody to really pay attention fully and to commit to what it is that you're giving them. So remember being a child and having picture books and preferring picture books. Humans are still like that when they're adults. All right. So have pictures and break it up because it is going to really help people to focus on what you're saying. All right. So again, just like I mentioned before, make sure that you are using your brand fonts as often as possible. So be selecting these and doing that, modifying your brand colors as well. And let's see. Well, we're going to say funding and see what this comes up with. A touch cheesy, but we can drop that guy in there. There we go. So there you go. That's pretty straightforward. And then we have a final one that we need to create. So I'm actually going to just copy this page. And then I'm just going to move some things around a little bit. So this final page here is our sort of third point, and that's to surround yourself with people who have been there. Right. And so I'm going to paste that here. I'm going to move it up just a touch. And because we actually had this same design on a previous page, I'm going to group these. They may already be grouped. No, they're not. Okay. So I'm going to select the two of these together. There we go. Command G groups them. And then I'm going to move him over. And basically just swap the alignment. Just again, to give some visual interest as somebody is flowing through the content here, having that alternating look is going to help the eye move down, because if it looks identical to the page before it, it might not be as interesting to them. And you may even consider maybe swapping out some of the colors here. So in this case, let me unlock this and I will do a color swap. There we go. And in this case, because the color is so much lighter, we're going to swap these for a darker font. So there we go. We could go with, we'll go with that black. And Karina, I see that you got to go. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you check out the replay. And we'll of course continue with this example. So, so yeah, you could even create a visual difference, again, if you're using similar formatting. So the final thing we're going to do here is we're going to have these two paragraphs. We're going to paste those in. There we go. And of course, remember, you can hit enter, space the text out, etc. And if you are creating these elements, do make sure that you change all of them accordingly. There we go. Now, finally, what we'll do here is we will take the final paragraph that has been provided to us, put an image of you here, maybe a logo of your program, whatever that might be. And we're going to paste this final paragraph. Actually, I think I want to copy this and break this down just a touch, because this is a good summary here. All right, so sometimes you're going to want to spread things out like this just to have it look good on one line. Here again, I've got these annoying backgrounds. I'm going to lock them so they don't move. I'm going to go to this schedule a free call and I'm going to select it, move it down. There we go. And here, finally, what you're going to want to do, if we want to use a button like this on a page, we're going to take this text and hit Command or Control K. And that's going to allow you to put in a link to a page on your website. All right. So this is where you would actually paste in a link from your AttractWell website. And once that's done, that's actually clickable and you're good to go. Now, what we want to do next is we make sure that we rename it. So how to become a medical rebel in your own practice. And I'm going to go to share. I'm going to go to download and I'm going to go to PDF, standard PDF. I'm going to download this to my device. Now, if you happen to create a one-page PDF, then you can actually perform this step in AttractWell and just take your document straight from Canva into AttractWell without downloading it to your device. Canva does not have the capability of uploading multi-page documents into a third-party platform like ours. So if you do have a multi-page one like the one I just showed you, then of course you're going to want to do what I just did. So now that I've done that, I'm in AttractWell and there are two places that we can go. First, and really the simplest place to go is to go into your videos, images, and files, into this file manager. Let's go to our files here. And we can then go and select it. And so that's in our downloads, how to become a medical rebel in your practice. So that's going to upload here. And then once that's here, we can easily insert this wherever we want it to go. And generally speaking, where you're going to want this to go is in the campaign that is connected to your funnel. All right. So that is now here. We can actually go open it up and take a look at it. Right. So it's done. It's ready. It does not take a whole lot of time, especially if you're working with templates and with AI to help you fill in the gaps. So finally, let's go over to our campaigns, and I'm going to show you how you can do an upload of a single page PDF directly from Canva. And then of course, how you can include what we've just given away. So in your first email that goes out, you're going to want to say, here's your download. Right, and then any other copy, right? Obviously, that's not the only thing you're going to say, but I'm going to highlight this text and I'm going to go over here to more rich. You do have the ability to upload a file right here. You don't have to go to your videos, images, and files to do this. You can do it direct here. If you've already uploaded it, then again, I'm going to highlight the text that I want to be here. I usually copy it because of this next step. I'm going to go to Insert, Manage Files. There it is, click it. And then I'm just going to go in and paste what I want the text to be as I had it originally. And so that's there, that's good to go. Now, again, if you have a one-page PDF, let me show you a really cool, quick trick. You go to Canva button here, you go to PDF download, you give it a name. You open Canva, you allow the cookies. And then finally, what you are able to do is to go over to your projects, find the one that you created. And obviously, provided that, again, you have a one page, you can select the page that you want to use, and then of course, send it to AttractWell directly. And that is going to create a new file in your file manager. And again, this is only something that you want to do if you have a one-page PDF. And that's it. That is how you design in one sitting. You write, design, and upload a PDF for your business to grow your leads. So if you have questions specifically, if you could please make sure that they are in the Q&A so that we don't miss them. Yulia, you had a question here about printer-friendly guides and workbooks. I don't have strong opinions about this. Generally speaking, if you're creating something that is intended to be printed, Canva does have a PDF print setting. Sometimes with PDF print, you can have a much larger file size. So depending on how big of a PDF this is, it could create some issues with upload size because we do have sort of a top limit on an upload size. So, but yeah, generally speaking, if it is intended to be used as a printed out thing, then definitely design it for that purpose. And then use the PDF print setting and maybe make sure, like, print a copy yourself to be totally sure that it's going to print well before you go and offer it. What I often really like to do to save paper, if it's something that absolutely does not have to be printed, what I really like to do is use fillable forms. So I'll create something really cute in Canva, and then I'll take that PDF and I'll upload it. You can literally Google make PDF fillable free, and there's one that I've used and I couldn't pronounce it if you asked me to, but it's a free service and you can actually just modify that to create fillable fields. That's my personal preference for like workbooks, but if they need to be printed, design them for print. Let me see. Nick says, I have a bunch of random paragraphs that have been sitting on a Google Doc for months. Well, now's the time. Make them pretty. Canva has so many awesome templates that are already designed. They look nice. Just swap the text or the font face, swap obviously the text for your own, and just make the colors congruent with what you already have set up in your branding on your website and elsewhere, and you're good to go. Karen has a few questions. Can you take payment for online and in-person events? Yes, you can. Absolutely. There's a number of different ways that you can set those up. You can use Pages, you can use the store. And of course, if you wanted to link an external service, you can do that. But if you want full integration and automation and all the great things you can do with us, yeah, you can do it all in one place. What's the difference between a private community and a membership site? It's the privacy settings that you set on it. So inside of our member area that you get with AttractWell, you have a single container that is a member area. So think of it like a waiting room at like a physician's office or something like that, right? And then you've got these different rooms that people might go into for different types of experiences and services. So, practitioner A is in Vault A, practitioner B is in Vault B, et cetera. I'll stop with that analogy. But inside of this waiting room member area, you have vaults. Those vaults can be whatever you choose for them to be. They can be public access, where anybody could come in and it's a community, almost like a replacement for a Facebook group. It could be a private community. It could be a paid private community with a subscription service. It could be a coaching program where people get access for X number of months or weeks. Sky's the limit. So the difference is simply changing the settings. The unlimited add-on plan for those vaults, as well as the online classes you can fill them with, is $17 a month at the time of filming this. And does the app have the ability to have my domain name instead of AttractWell? It's a great question. So as of right now, the app is the AttractWell app, but they're going to be logging in and getting your stuff inside of it, right? So think of it, it's kind of similar to like the Kajabi app, where if somebody has the Kajabi app and they are a part of multiple courses from people who have Kajabi and are offering their courses there, you can access all of them from the same app. That is how ours is set up. So it's the AttractWell app, and then any content that they're signed up to receive inside of a member area from AttractWell, they'll be able to access that all in one place. Yeah, the community would be inside of the vault, Karen. So that would be, I can actually show an example. And Sharon says, I'm creating a resource library. Should it sit in a vault, or is there a better place for it? It should absolutely sit in a vault. Yeah. Unless it's something that, like, I mean, the other way that you could do that is like with a blog, right? So what we would do here is, let me go to vaults in the member area and I'll show you. So I'll view member area. Nick, does Canva allow me to add my own templates and backgrounds? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can fully modify, you could start from scratch. You can start from a design, duplicated design that you've already created. Absolutely. All right, so this is what a member area looks like, right? And then these are vaults. These two things are vaults. So inside of a vault, you have the option for a number of different types of content. And this isn't set up to be particularly pretty. These can be images instead of like text and icons, just so you know. And where this is an active community, you would actually see active discussion on the right-hand side. So it would become a 2-column setup. So we have pages. So pages, just like any web page you would have on your website, except it's password protected and inside a vault, and only people who are supposed to have access to the vault will see that content. These are online classes, you can see with the hats. And then there's discussion rooms, and you can have any combination of these things that your plan has capacity for inside of a single vault. And so if we are getting into our, actually, let me show you this one. If we get into our online classes here, you have the ability to break them up in categories and subcategories. Inside of them, you can have written instruction. I actually have sway presentations embedded inside of these as example downloads in the download section. And you can, of course, have any number of videos that you show in here as well. You can enable discussion, have discussion prompts, etc. So you have lots of different options there. This is an example of a vault that is created to support a customer base that uses specific products. And so something like this could be an add-on, right? Like a value add to another thing that you sell, which is what this was built for. But something like this that looks like this could be a community, it could be a course. It just depends on how you set it up and how you want to gate it. Adrienne asks, is there a way to add multiple websites to one account, or would we need to have more than one account due to the domain for email marketing? The answer is skewing more to the second answer that you've provided there. You can have one URL attached to your AttractWell account. You can use like domain forwarding to point to pages on your AttractWell account. So if you have, what I recommend is having like an umbrella brand if you want to use one AttractWell account. If the audiences that you serve are roughly similar, if they're pretty close in terms of what you offer, or if it's not critical for you to really establish separate legal business entities, right? If you have separate legal business entities, you should probably have 2 different AttractWell accounts, right? But But if you have multiple things that you offer, or you have multiple brands under your umbrella, have the main sort of domain for your AttractWell account be the umbrella brand, right? Typically that's you, right? If you are the expert, or it's the name of sort of your main business. And then what I often see folks do, and what I typically recommend, is that where you own additional domains that you'd like to utilize, you would forward, right? So you would still have, the website would be on myagency.com, right? But then you would own myagenciesproduct.com, and you would point it to that myagency.com page, right? But if it is important for you to have the email address, for instance, that's sent from to be separate, then you would want to have a separate AttractWell account if that's a priority. I hope that makes sense. Please feel free to ask follow-up questions. Okay, let's see. If someone is in one of your vaults, can they see all of the other vaults you have? Oh, Greg answered this. But yeah, generally speaking, well, not generally, period, you can set it up however you want to. And that's kind of the magic of having AttractWell is that if you want to create an experience that looks and feels like a Patreon, you can. If you want to create a private coaching program that lasts 6 months and kicks people out at the end of 6 months, you can. If you want to create something that's free that replaces a Facebook group, you can. And so if you want other people to see the stuff that's in there, that's actually a setting that's available for you. So if you want something to be discoverable, but only once somebody is signed in and actually has a login to your member area, do it. You can do that. And the options that they see when they come into the member area, they can actually lead off to sales pages, right? So for instance, if somebody signs up for course A from you and they're in your member area, and you have courses B, C, and D there, and those are visible, but they're not in them, they got to pay for them. They can go, oh, I want to learn more about course B, and it'll take them over to the sales page if you set it up that way. Or if you want it to, you want nobody to know that it exists, then that's obviously an option as well. Awesome, great questions today. If you guys have any more, last call. If you want any feedback on your lead magnet ideas, obviously, then let us know. Adrian, feel free to reach out. I know we've chatted once before, but if you need any clarification, I've seen just about all the ways you can do stuff with this, and I'm pretty privy to the things that surprise me that I see people doing all the time. So happy to help you make sense of it all. Good question, Karen. I think in some ways, but like not in the, Greg?
Yeah, there's no official Zapier integration at the moment, but it's something on our wish list for sure.
Yeah. And if there is something that you are specifically wanting to try to automate or connect, just reach out to us, and we're happy to share. You know, this usually is something that we can do pretty quickly via email, or if you want to, you know, kind of talk through this stuff on a call like next week if you wanted to, or, you know, even if it meant, you know, sitting down and kind of hashing something out together on a one-on-one, that's all something that is an option here. Canvas seems overwhelming, Peggy. It's probably because there's so much you can do with it. But I'm telling you, if you will just make sure that you have your brand kit set up, and so that's over here. Where did it go? If we just go to Canva, like the homepage of Canva. If we go to Brand Hub, go to your brand kit, and then you create a palette. And you already have a gorgeous palette of blues and greens that you use on your website, right? Have the fonts, you've already selected those, right? So just once you have those in place, make sure that you upload your photos, your graphics, your icons that you know you want to use regularly, and then you just go to the templates, right? And once you have one thing that you've created that you really like, make a copy of it or import it into a new design, and you're basically just reusing the work that you've already used. Do you need the paid version of Canva? Technically, no. I would just, yeah, start out with Canva, like with the free version, and doing what I've shared with you today with the free version of Canva. I can tell you with confidence that if creating content that is visually congruent is a priority, which it should be, you will reach a point where you say, you know what, paying was like $112 a year, like it's going to make a lot of sense pretty quickly, in my opinion. I'm not sure if the brand kit is there with the free version. But if you check out any of the branding trainings that we have, including the one in the launch challenge in the first module, we actually have a brand kit template, or rather a brand guideline template that is actually a PDF that you can pop into Canva, where you can save all of your colors. So if you are using free Canva, you can just have that and grab it, right? It's not going to be quite as easy and quick as actually setting up your brand kit in Canva, but it is a way to streamline before you make the decision to pay for Canva Pro. Okay, I have a newsletter that I would like to this software. Here we go. Software has all the things like timers, picks, multiple columns. I would want to send the contacts over to that software without having to do it manually. So oh, there we go. Greg's got it in the comments here. Awesome. So yeah, feel free if you aren't finding the answers to your questions, or obviously we're going a little over time here. If you have more questions that are a little bit more in depth technically, then definitely do feel free to reach out to our team so that we can help you find the answers to those. Generally speaking, if you want to be sending out newsletters and having your list in the same place and having your website, and basically if you're wanting to leave the world of duct tape, right, where you have to have a Zap to do 27 different things, right? If you're wanting to leave that space and simplify what you're doing, my short answer is like, use AttractWell for everything, right? There's very few things that we don't do. And for the things that we don't do, there are pretty simple ways to execute those functions. So generally speaking, if you're moving from another platform to us, there is going to be some translation space. And I'm happy to hop on a call with you to help you kind of hash out what that looks like. Because obviously, let's just say, for example, you move to a new country, you want to make a meal, the ingredients are going to be a little bit different, right? But we can make it still something good, right? That's going to work. It's going to function. It's going to hit those right notes for you. So definitely, yeah, definitely just shoot us a message, and obviously Greg's got some answers here, and we're happy to follow up and make sure that you're clear on how to get all that done. All right, I think there was, nope, that's it. And we do have, Peggy, if you want to check out on our YouTube channel, one of our community members, Katinka, did a Canva training a while back. So just type in Canva when you search on AttractWell, and definitely check her out. She does some really great stuff, and she's got a gorgeous AttractWell website. So I hope that you will check that out, and I hope you guys will be back next week. We certainly look forward to seeing you then, and until then, have a great week, everybody.